Well, it's Saturday. Yesterday was Good Friday, and today the disciples are discouraged, they're depressed, and their Savior, their Lord, is in the grave. In verse 62 of Matthew 27, it says, "Now on the next day, the day after the preparation, the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered together with Pilate and said, 'Sir, we remember that when he was still alive, that deceiver said, "After 3 days I am to rise again." Therefore, give orders for the grave to be made secure until the 3rd day. Otherwise his disciples may come and steal him away and say to the people, "He is risen from the dead," and the last deception will be worse than the first.' And Pilate said to them, 'You have a guard. Go make it as secure as you know how.' And they went and made the grave secure. And along with the guard, they set a seal on the stone." And so, the Pharisees had accomplished what they'd been working at for a long time. They put Jesus to death. But they were still concerned about the followers of Christ, that they might steal the body and keep this movement going. And so the Pharisees were doing everything that they could do to make sure that didn't happen. So they went to Pilate again, they went to the governor, they said, "Hey, we need a guard." And so he granted a guard, and they put a seal on the tomb. So just like when they crucified Jesus, the same is true here. The Pharisees thought they were accomplishing their purposes, but they're actually accomplishing the purpose of God. Because by putting a seal on the stone, by putting the guard there, it verified that nobody came and stole the body. That Jesus' resurrection was real and valid. And so the Pharisees, unlike Jesus, were totally self-centered. They were concerned about themselves and their reputation and their position in the community. And Jesus was totally the opposite. And he was concerned about us. And he was able to sacrifice himself on the cross and pay our sin debt. And so one of the things that troubles me about this passage is that the Pharisees were the spiritual leaders. Well, I'm a spiritual leader. So my question is, can I end up being like these Pharisees and get to a place where I'm just concerned about myself and not concerned about others? So I ask myself that question from time to time. And sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes I do get self-centered. We all have a sin nature, and sometimes we just default to that. And the only way I know to guard against that is worship and Bible study. And, we live in a time with the pandemic and different businesses being declared essential and non-essential. And, the church has been declared non-essential from that perspective. And I don't think we should be meeting together. I think we're doing the right thing by not meeting together in person at this time. But it's essential. The church is essential. Worship is essential. Prayer is essential. Bible study is essential. We all need that to keep from falling into the Phariseeism and becoming self-centered. It keeps us Christ-centered.